What up, what up, what up? It's K.Honesty, and I'm about to do a review of Tyler Perry's Ruthless, Season 5, Episode 6. So if you have not seen Episode 6 of Season 5 of Tyler Perry's Ruthless, turn this video off, go watch the episode, and come back and watch this review. And please like the video and subscribe to my channel. It's a simple and free way to support my channel. I don't know how else to explain that. It's free. It won't cost you any money. And if you want to support, that's the easiest way to do it. I'm not a public speaker. I will tend to fumble my words and say and so and like 1,000 times. I may stop to regain my thoughts. I may slow my speaking down to regain my thoughts. Definitely going to be looking at my notes over here that I take throughout the show. And anything I say is my opinion. It does not reflect anyone or anything associated with the show. Comment below, please, what you would grade this week's episode and what you thought of this week's episode in its entirety. And, of course, again, like and subscribe. I like to grade the episodes before and after my reviews. I'm going to grade this week's episode. I'm going to give it a B-. It wasn't bad. There was a lot of moving parts in this episode. A lot of stuff I didn't expect to see coming from off of last week's episode. So, I thought it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. So, yeah, I'm going to give it a B-. But, of course, you have your own thoughts and opinions. So, yeah, leave them in the comments. And you might want to grade it something lower, something higher. Leave that in the comments. Last Chance is Tyler Perry's Ruthless, Season 5, Episode 6. So, if you have not seen it, turn this video off. I'm about to spoil the entire episode. So, the episode begins. We still at this little trial, and Alex is getting questioned by the highest about her loyalty and whatnot, as Obadiah holds this gun to her head. Alex is just super scared, and she's apologizing. She's saying she's sorry, this, that, and third. Obadiah shoots at Alex, and she falls to her death. At first, I thought she was still alive because Ruth was like, take her to the infirmary. And I'm like, and then we get this next scene after Daikon taunts River a little bit, like, you got blood on your hands. We get this next scene where Lacey goes to check on Joan, and Joan's looking for Alex. She's like, where's Alex? And at least Lacey's like, Alex is dead. So I'm like, so if she's dead, why is she being brought to the infirmary? Why isn't her body like getting buried or with the rest of the dead? I was so confused by that. So I was like, is she dead? Is she unconscious? Like, because he didn't shoot her in the head. He shot her, like, in the chest or abdomen or something. That part was so confusing to me. So, yeah, Lacey checks on Joan, and Lacey has to tell Joan that Alex is dead. And, you know, Lacey's like, I thought you and River were cool, Joan. Like, he lost his mind. And then out of nowhere, Joan gives Lacey the passcode to the account with the $2 million in it. And I was like, first of all, if anybody deserved this money, it's Lacey, because this bitch done been through a lot compared to anybody else at this fucking compound. So I was like, I mean, if anybody deserved the money, it should be Lacey. But I also wanted to understand what is Joan's reasoning for giving the passcode to Lacey. I was confused by that. I was like, why she give it to Lacey of all people? I can understand Joan. I mean, not Joan, but I said Joan. I can understand if she gave it to Zane, but Lacey. And then Lacey's like kind of losing her mind and shit. She losing her shit a little bit. So I was kind of confused by that. But I mean, hey, if Joan died, Lacey got that info. And they would think that it died with Joan, but the whole time Lacey got it. I hope she don't tell nobody she got it. Not even Zane. Because Zane trusts Ruth. And Ruth is not always trustworthy. So if I was Lacey, I would keep that little nugget to myself. So we get this next scene. Manny, he attempts to bring some medicine to the punishment trailer for George and Lewis. Said it's under eldest mother's orders. At first, I wasn't believing that. I was like, why would she want to like help these traders get better? So I was kind of like, I don't believe that she sent him with that medicine. I was like, those is kind of like his homies in a way, even though he backdoored them. So I was like, I don't know about this, but turns out she did send him for medicine. So Daikon's like, no, you don't go in there. He's still thinking in his head that he's the highest number 2. He thinking he still got rank, and he telling Manny. Manny was like, nigga, you ain't in charge no more. Pushes his ass aside and walks in. And Daikon just walks off mad. Poor Daikon. He still think he in charge. So then we get this scene at the police station. Desiree, she gets a call basically informing her of the gunshot heard in the compound, the Obadiah gunshot to Alex. And, you know, her and Cal speculating, like, what you think happened. Andrew's like, look, I will give y'all all the help y'all need if y'all uncuff me. And I mean, I feel like Andrew's full of shit. I don't think he's going to tell him anything, but we shall see. So then we in the highest trailer, and he's messing with his sword. He's like working with his sword or whatever. River's watching him. Then River suggests that he step up and to protect the money since Joan is in the infirmary. And I was like, this nigga think he's slick. And the highest is this nigga is just so gullible. He don't be seeing the shit when it's right in his face. Like, it was just like, this episode showed how fucking gullible this nigga is, how dumb this nigga really is. The highest, this episode really did. And I'm going to explain why when I get to the scene that I want to talk about. Because this nigga, I thought this nigga was gullible. Then this nigga is just a wild, like, he just believe anything. How is this nigga in charge of all these people? And he's so dumb. But something the news anchor said about him was kind of true. She was like, he's compassionate and he's ruthless and da da da. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. This nigga's a dummy, but then in moments you would think he'd be smart. So, you know, River's trying to be in control of the money. Ruth comes in and she's like, you know, our son is telling me how proud he is of you and of River. And then suggests that they do like a first supper. And River's like, oh, it sounds like you're going to make a killer meal or something like that to Ruth. And Ruth's like, you know, it's something. It's like they both knew that somebody was getting poisoned. And me, I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be the highest. Like they're just going to flat out do that to the highest at this first supper. That was my assumption off the jump. Because they just had that conversation. It was like, it was be good. But then the Alex situation happened and the Jones situation. So I guess Ruth like, oh no, this nigga I can't trust this nigga no more. So Ruth, she goes to Lacey, you know, to check on to see, because you know Lacey went to go see Joan. So she's like, how's Joan doing? So Lacey's like, yeah, she's good, whatever. She hanging in there. So then Lacey's like, Joan's good, she hanging in there. Sorry, I was yawning. I wanted to make sure I said it clearly. So then Lacey, she shares with Ruth that, you know, I'm feeling a way about still being here. We was free at one point. She starts freaking out like she did with Zane. And Ruth has to slap the shit out of her. She's like, get a grip on yourself. Stick to the plan. She suggests that they take River out. Like, out of the picture. Like, so then Manny, he enters the punishment trailer and he hands Elder Mother the medicine. I didn't even realize Elder Mother was in the trailer when Daikon was trying to stop Manny. So she's in there tending to George and Louis. How the fuck is George still alive? This nigga got his dick cut off by a fucking sword. How is he still standing and alive? That nigga should be dead. That's a lot of blood loss. I could kind of understand why Louis is still alive because he just got his eyeballs taken out. But how the fuck is George still living? Like, I don't understand that. Can you just get your dick cut off and just be chained without tending to it for hours? Like, how? So Elder Mother tells River off the random, like, this was random as hell for me, because I was like, when do Elder Mother and River be talking? But she tells Manny, you know, River might be thinking about making you his right-hand man. And I'm like, I mean, that makes sense. He saved Joan and brought them back without snitching and saying that they was trying to escape. But that's also risky because he can snitch on your ass any day and tell the highest that you tried to escape with Joan. So then we get the same Daikon. He enters his trailer to find River there waiting for him with Daikon's stuff all packed up. And he's like, you know, you going to the men's trailer now. Like, what you thought this was? You thought you was going to just come back to your trailer, your lonesome trailer, and be cool? No, it's mine's now, basically. And, you know, he starts telling the story. River starts telling how he don't give a fuck about Alex dying and how her blood felt good on his feet. Like, just saying shit to make him sound more crazy than he already is. Like, basically to let us know as viewers that he's lashing out. Like, this nigga is crashing out. This nigga's crazy now. He has Daikon get on his knees and pray, and it's just the whole thing. Like, he just enjoying this. And I mean, a part of me is kind of happy for River because Daikon used to put him through so much, but it's like this nigga is crashing out. Like, what he did to Joan was fucked up. Because, like, that's supposed to be your man. So you just mad because she didn't give you the passcode. And now you see why, because you look what you doing now. So now as Ruth is cooking in the kitchen, Elder Mother comes in. This bitch said, I had to write this down because it was hilarious. She said, it reeks of inexperience in here. I thought that shit was so funny. She said, it reeks of inexperience in here. I thought that shit was so funny when she said that. So she asking Ruth, like, you need any help? And Ruth's like, you know, of course, she says in her own little smart way, no, I don't need no help. And Elder Mother, you know, she starts talking about Obadiah, like, where did that fine specimen come from? And Ruth just like, ain't you supposed to be tending to the wounded? They just basically had that little back and forth. Like, we know they don't fuck with each other. It is what it is. So back at the police station, Andrew kind of like, he taunting Cal. He telling them, I can help you take down the Rockadoochies. I can even help you take Desiree's job. Next thing you know, the news anchor woman comes in to see Desiree. And I'm immediately thinking like, oh yeah, she about to spill the beans and tell them about the footage that they got. But no. So Desiree just getting off the phone with the governor, who tells her that she got a week to close the case or she's off the case. So I'm like, so what, is Cal about to take over and Andrew going to be feeding this nigga false information and is this not going to go nowhere? So apparently Andrew, at the moment, he had these pictures of everybody at the compound and he was putting them in order from highest ranking to lowest ranking. And the news anchor, she comes over, she starts moving the pictures around and Andrew's like, what are you doing? That's wrong. And she's like, no, you just like the soldiers at the compound. You don't know who's really in charge. And she starts moving the pictures around and shit. And we see Ruth gets put to the top of the highest rank of like who's ranking highest and shit like that. So then we go to the highest trailer. River is massaging the highest. And he's like, who else has been doing your accounting besides Joan? And I'm just like, damn, nigga, way to be subtle. You just keep bringing up the money. And this is what I mean by the highest don't be catching on to shit. Like, you don't think he trying to do something? He keeps mentioning the fucking money. I was just like, so the highest is like, since Agnes, what happened to Agnes? I remember it was a lady handling the money before Joan. I can't remember what happened to her. Did she die? What happened? I don't remember. Somebody please remind me, because it's been so long. But, yeah, so, the highest is just like, it's only been Joan. So River, he starts hinting about the missing money. And the highest is like, and I'm surprised the highest ain't getting on his ass like, you knew this whole time and you're just now telling me. This nigga just letting it fly. He just like, so get the money back. Loud ass car. So it's like, I hate when cars be loud for no reason. They don't even be going nowhere. Anyway. The highest is like, get the money back. And River's like, well, I don't know the passcode. And then the highest picks up his sword. And I'm like, about time you catching on. This nigga been playing the whole time. He knows some shit and ain't telling you till now. But the whole time this nigga picks up his sword. And he's like, who has that information? And I'm just like, you don't think if he goes to Joan won't bomb you out too? You think because he's the highest number 2 now that he gonna believe you over Joan? I mean, he may do, but I was like, that was risky of River to me. So Obadiah, he comes in the punishment trailer and, Elder Mother, this is her first time meeting him. She introduces herself. She introduces him to George and Lewis. I didn't really understand the significance of this scene. He tells her some riddle about a jokester and a liar. Maybe it'll make some sense later in this season. I didn't really understand it. I don't know. I guess he was trying to say Lewis and George are the jokester and liar. I didn't understand it. It was weird to me. So back at the police station, Desiree, she's asking the news anchor, like, what's your deal, basically? And the news anchor is like, well, I want an interview with the highest. So I'm thinking this whole time, why the fuck haven't you brought up the fucking footage that you got? But I guess that's her. I mean, she got the upper hand right now because she has that footage and they don't know about it. So I was like, well, I guess she's not going to tell them, or she going to use it as some type of leverage. So she asked for an interview with the highest. And she asking for a layout of the land and bringing her cameraman in and all this other shit. And Desiree's like, well, I'll consider getting you in, but no cameraman. And I'm just like, bitch, you can't even get in. So what makes you think you can get her in? She would probably have a better chance getting in than you because she's not police. She's a news anchor. You know, they'll try to dress it up nice in the Rockadoochie compound to make it seem like they so holier than thou, and they this great cult, and they not a cult that people think they are and whatnot. She would have the better chance because she would put the story out there of what they feeding her. You ain't getting in there, Desiree. You got the evil government. I was just like, what makes you think that you could get her in there and you can't even get yourself in there? You remember what happened when you was walking towards the compound and they let the fucking thing off, the siren off? I was just so confused about that. And then next thing you know, this attorney shows up and he's like, I'm here to speak to my client. He's there on the behalf of the cartel girl Keys that they got in holding. And I was just like, but then he said her name and I was confused because I could have swore a couple episodes ago when Desiree went to go talk to the girl, she was like, I looked you up, so your name really is Keys. So I was like, maybe the cartel made it seem like her name was really Keys, but this nigga came in and said something else. So I was just like, I don't know. I guess her name is Keys. It sounded like Keys was in her last name, but the way Desiree said it, like, your name really is Keys. It made it seem like her first name was actually Keys. I was just like, okay, I don't know. I can't keep up sometimes with this bullshit. So Obadiah, he exits the punishment trailer and, you know, he tells Manny, you know, I heard River about to make you his number 2. He tells Manny not to accept it. And Manny's like, well, that's not really your decision. So then Obadiah, you know, he's like, you know, it's been a drone flying above for a week. And Manny's like, Manny had no idea about it. And Obadiah's asking Manny where Ruth and River are. And Manny's like, well, River's in the highest trailer. I don't know where Ruth is. So then Obadiah, you know, he calls Manny dumb. He's like, because you're dumb. He was like, you know, you been River's number 2. You know, it's too big a task for you to handle. You can't handle being as observant as you're supposed to be and whatnot. And then he tells Manny to not accept the River's offer again. And then he runs down Ruth and River's exact location. He's like, River just left the woman's trailer. Ruth just left with them. The drone is the news anchor people. I was just like, God damn, this nigga's on it. I'm like, but where's he getting his information from? I mean, it's one thing to be observant and be alert and shit like that, but where are you getting your info, sir? I mean, he probably watching Ruth and River, but how do you know that the drone flying above is news cameras, news anchors if you ain't been outside the compound? But I don't know. We should see how this nigga play out because he a new character. So then back at the police station, the male news anchor, he tries to show Cal the drone footage from the trial, but it somehow is missing or it's erased or something like that. And I'm betting you that it's the female news anchor. I bet you she is hiding it or keeping it from him or something because she's trying to use that footage for her own agenda or something. I feel like she wants this interview with the highest, and if she gets it, she gonna bring up the fucking footage and then put it on there and be like, well, why did this happen to the highest while she interviewing? Bitch gonna end up getting herself killed. So the highest and River, they storm in the infirmary. The highest holds the sword to Joan's neck. And next thing you know, Ruth starts to fall over Joan and starts to speak as if she starts to let their child speak through her. So she's speaking as if, I just spit. She's speaking as if their child is speaking through her. And this is the part I was saying, like, the highest is really a gullible motherfucker. Like, I can't believe this nigga falling for this shit. Like, really. He got on his knees. He grabs her belly. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, my son. I'm glad. I didn't mean to scare you. And I'm just like, are we serious? And River's behind Ruth like, nice one. Like, he mouths nice one. And Ruth's like, and she's like, oh. And I'm just like, I can't believe this nigga's really falling for, like, they making the highest look like a gump. Like, he been a gump, but this episode really put the nail in the coffin for me. I was just like, are we serious? I couldn't believe that. So, you know, the child speaking through Ruth, telling the highest not to kill Joan. So the highest and River leave the, and while the highest is on his knees, River whispers to Joan, give me the passcode. Joan doesn't give him shit. I was like, don't do it, bitch, because you gave it to somebody else, and they just don't know who. And I think that's the only reason Ruth is kind of keeping Joan alive, too. She probably wouldn't care less if River and the highest came in and killed Joan if she didn't have that $2 million and don't nobody know the passcode. So the highest and River, they leave the infirmary. Ruth goes behind them, and she goes up and confronts River. And I'm just like, where the fuck did the highest go that quick that she could just run up and confront River like that? So she's confronting him about the things he's been doing lately, the Alex situation, and now with Joan and whatnot. And she slaps the shit out of him. She just been on a slapping spree this episode. And she she threatens River, like, before I'm gonna kill you, and you gonna be thinking about it every day since I'm threatening your ass, basically. She like, I'm gonna think about killing you every day until I do it. And River's like, bring it on, bitch. So Ruth, she goes to Daikon, and she's like, I'm sun go down, River go down. And Daikon, he tells Ruth where the poison is. And I'm just like, this nigga Daikon. I was like, look at them working together. They got a common enemy. He was like, I'm listening. Or he was like, I'm down. But something he said when she was like, I got a plan for River. He was like, I'm all ears or something. So then Ruth walks off after he tells her where the poison is. And next thing you know, Daikon gets a call. This nigga, how does he still have the burner phone if he got stripped at the trial? Did he not have it on him? I was just lost. Some stuff don't be making sense, and y'all got to make it make sense for me. How did he still have the phone? So he gets the call from Desiree, the FBI woman, but they don't tell us what the call is about. They cut away to River going to, he goes to Elder Mother. She prepping for the first supper and whatnot. She tells him, he tells her, I don't trust Ruth. And then at this moment, he acts like, and this was another reason. Why did he act like he didn't know that Ruth was in charge of the kitchen now? Was he not there when they was about to kill themselves because they heard the FBI was at the gates? And Ruth had that intermission from the baby or whatever and said that Elder Mother should be in the infirmary and she should be in the kitchen. Was River not there for that? Because why did he act surprised when Elder Mother told him that Ruth was cooking? I was just like where was he? So, Ruth is in the kitchen. She in the supply closet where Daikon told her the poison was at. He told her it was labeled anointing oil. She finds 3 bottles with anointing oil. And she's like, fuck it, I'm gonna take them all. She don't know which one is in. So Elder Mother, she comes in and she's like, she says she's cooking the meal for the dinner or the whatever. And Ruth, she orders her to leave. Like, no, you know that I'm cooking for River and the highest. And then Elder Mother's like, well, it was the highest order, so you want me to go back and tell him you disobeying? And Ruth's like, okay, well, you can cut, and I'll cook, and me and Zane will cook. And next thing you know, Obadiah comes in, and he's like, Elder Mother, what do you need from me? So I'm assuming Obadiah about to assist her cooking. This nigga's doing everything. Like, why are you in the kitchen assisting her with cooking? So we get this final scene. It's the first supper dinner or whatever. Everybody's in the pavilion. The kids, they're holding bowls that they about to partake. And Zane knocks Callie's, Ruth's daughter, knocks her bowl out of her hand. And she's like, let me go get you another one. And I'm like, the highest don't notice that weird shit? Like, and he made a face like he noticed it but didn't say nothing. And I'm just like, are they about to kill the kids? Because I'm just like, that don't make no sense. And plus, it would look oddly suspicious if all the kids dropped dead after eating except for Ruth's daughter. And we clearly saw Zane go get her another bowl. That would have been like, I was so confused by that moment. So then the highest is speaking about, River being his number 2, and Lacey's, she's speaking loudly, saying shit. Basically, like, she giving the highest his praises, and she's like, he's true Raku, he's OG Raku and shit, but just saying stuff a little sarcastically, but you can't really tell. The highest don't fucking tell. So, she makes some dumbass TLC reference about River's name, and Ruth, then the highest is like, someone shut her the fuck up or something. So I think that, the highest says that, and Ruth has Daikon escort Lacey away. So then River, he walks over. The highest is like, everyone may eat. So everybody sits down to start eating. Excuse me. So River was about to take a bite of his food, and he hesitates. And, he makes some fucking speech up about, this is as much as the kids, this is as much as the youth's first supper, that as much as it is for me. It's their first supper as much as it is for me. And then he gets up and offers his seat to Callie, Ruth's daughter. So now she's sitting in front of his bowl about to eat. So that's how the episode ends. And I was like, this was a good episode. It had a lot of moving parts, but a lot of shit didn't make sense too. Like the scenes that I just said. Like River acting like he didn't know Ruth was in the kitchen. Desiree saying that Key's name was actually Keys, but then the lawyer coming in and say something else. What else? It was just a lot of shit. It was just a lot of shit. Like, how the fuck did Daikon still have a burner phone? A lot of dumb shit, but overall it was still a lot of moving parts and interesting shit in there. Like, I didn't think they was really gonna kill Alex, but she was not a key character in the show, shall I say. They just introduced her, so I thought they was gonna keep her, but she wasn't a key. She wasn't a key character, so I wasn't surprised that they killed her, but I didn't think they was gonna kill her. I'm surprised to see George still alive. I thought that nigga was dead from getting his dick cut off. Like, I wasn't expecting Joan to get a passcode up to Lacey of all people, so that kind of shocked me. The weirdness of Zane knocking Callie's bowl out the hand, I didn't understand that. Like, is everybody else shit poison? Is all the kids about to die? I'm just so confused by that. What's up with the female news anchor and the male news anchor? Like, what's her play with this damn footage? Because I know she got that footage. It ain't just disappear off the iPad. We know Andrew ain't gonna give up shit. Is Desiree gonna get taken off the case? There's a lot of questions on this goddamn episode. And we just got to wait and see. That's why I would grade this on a B-. It was good as shit. Yeah, I would give it a little higher, but just because those little points I made, those little tips that I had with this episode, I can't give it a higher grade. But, of course, you could give it a higher grade in the comments and let me know how you felt about the episode. And please like and subscribe to my channel. Help me get to over 300 subscribers. I really want 300 million, but, you know, we're trying to get to 300 for now. Step by step, little by little. So liking and subscribing is a simple and free way to help. It don't cost you no money. Takes less than 5 seconds out the time to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. And yeah, comment below. Like, subscribe, comment below. See y'all in the next review. Thanks for watching. Peace.